I was in the bait shop in Mobile, Alabama on a Saturday morning with a cart full of everything the rack said I needed. 3 different scent sprays, 2 new lure packs, a replacement reel. The man in front of me at the register had one small grocery bag. He was 87 years old with a beat-up rod under one arm. He had one grocery bag and tackle that looked older than most. Of the rods hanging on the wall behind the counter, I thought nothing of the comparison until we ended up on the same lake. He caught more largemouth in just the first 2 hours than I managed to land in the entire 6-hour session. At one point, I watched him land 4 fish in under 20 minutes without moving his spot, without changing his rig, without doing a single thing that looked different from what every other angler fishing that same bank was doing. Same water, same conditions, same morning on the same lake. I walked over at the end of the session and asked him directly. He reached into the grocery bag and held up a small box. Plain, unflavored gelatin, $3 at any grocery store, the kind that comes in individual packets for baking. He said his grandfather showed him this method in 1952. He said back then every serious angler in the Gulf states used it. He said the tackle companies arrived through the 1970s and told an entire generation that the old methods were outdated. He said most people in the Gulf states believed it. He never once believed any of it for a single season. His name was Walter, and he had been fishing the same Alabama lakes the same way for over 70 years without interruption. Walter said the Louisiana tournament circuit tried to ban gelatin in the late 1980s, after anglers using it dominated competitions against anglers using commercial scent products. The organizers called it an unfair advantage over commercial alternatives. They banned a $3 grocery item but permitted electronic fish finders that cost 100 times more. Walter said that comparison told you everything you needed to know about who was writing the tournament rules and why they were written. The ban did not hold, because you cannot legally restrict a food ingredient from recreational fishing in most southern states. But the message to newer anglers was received clearly enough that gelatin gradually stopped being discussed in fishing communities, replaced by product launches and sponsored gear reviews. Walter kept using it quietly on the same lakes he had always fished. He said the few times he mentioned it to younger anglers in the 80s, they dismissed it the same way the tackle companies wanted them to. He said he stopped explaining it to people who already knew the answer. He explained it to me because I had asked honestly and admitted directly that my expensive gear was not working. He said that admitting the gear was not working was the only real basis. The reason gelatin works is not mysterious once you understand how fish actually process the information in the water around them. Most anglers think about scent in terms of what a fish smells. The reality of how fish process information is more specific than that. Fish taste the water around them constantly and continuously. Their lateral line and mouth receptors process protein signals at concentrations far below what any human sense detects. Pure, unflavored gelatin is collagen protein in a dehydrated form. When it contacts water on the surface of a bait, it begins dissolving and releasing individual amino acid chains into the surrounding water. Those chains spread outward from the bait in a slow protein cloud that can carry up to 40 feet outward in still water before the concentration drops. Below the threshold, fish respond to. Commercial scent products are mineral oil and synthetic fragrances. They smell like food to a human standing in the tackle shop. To a largemouth or a catfish processing the water through chemoreception, they read as chemical compounds to the fish, not as prey. Gelatin reads like prey because it is actual animal protein. It produces the same amino acid signal as stressed tissue in the water, because the protein structure is biologically similar at the molecular level. Before I get into the exact application and the advanced variations, the kind of consistent result Walter described, fishing with intention instead of hoping conditions line up, comes from understanding more than just knowing what bait to put on the hook each morning. It comes from knowing when fish are feeding, where they are holding, and how barometric pressure, moon phases, and water temperature shift active feeding windows at different points throughout the season. I put together everything I know about those patterns into a complete system for anglers who want results every trip. Scan the QR code in the top left corner of your screen, or click the first link waiting in the description below. Stay here because the application is simpler than you expect, and the advanced variations are what separate a good session from the kind of morning Walter has been producing since 1952. The application takes about 30 seconds and works on any bait you're using. Wet the bait completely before you do anything else. Not soaked, just damp enough that the powder has a surface to stick to. Open 1 packet of plain, unflavored gelatin over the bait and dust the powder evenly across the entire surface. Knox brand is the most consistent option for this use. And it comes in individual packets that cost under $3 for a box, large enough to treat every bait you'll use in a full season. Work the powder lightly into the surface with your fingers. You want a thin and even coating, not a thick crust. A coating that is too thick forms a layer that dissolves all at once instead of releasing slowly over the length of the cast and retrieve. The thin coating dissolves gradually as the bait moves through the water, producing a sustained protein trail rather than a single burst. One coating lasts about 45 minutes before it needs to be refreshed. For natural bait like night crawlers or minnows, wet the bait first and roll it lightly in a small amount of gelatin powder in a container. Keep the gelatin container dry between each application. Wet powder will clump and does not coat the bait evenly. Now the advanced variations that Walter mentioned before I left the bank. For largemouth and catfish, mix pure garlic powder into the gelatin at a ratio of 2 parts, gelatin to 1 part garlic. The allicin from the garlic fires a second sensory system independently, while the gelatin protein cloud handles the first approach trigger. That combination has no commercial equivalent at any price point. For turbid or stained water where visibility is poor, add a single drop of anise extract to the wet bait before applying the gelatin powder coating to the surface. The anise scent compound carries further through murky water. Then the protein signal alone extends the detection range by creating a scent trail that fish can follow back to the source. For water below 55 degrees Fahrenheit in cold seasons, use double the normal amount of gelatin per application. Cold water slows the gelatin dissolve rate significantly, which means the protein cloud spreads more slowly and less far. Doubling the concentration compensates for the slower dispersal and maintains an effective signal radius in cold conditions. For summer sessions, when water temperature exceeds 75 degrees, keep your treated baits in a cooler between casts. High water temperature accelerates the dissolve rate, and a bait left in warm air for several minutes will lose most of the gelatin coating before it ever enters the water. The cooler extends each coating by keeping the protein stable until the exact moment the bait enters the water on the cast. Walleye, crappie, bluegill, and trout all respond to the gelatin signal for the same reason that largemouth and catfish do. All of these species use chemoreception as a primary hunting mechanism. The protein signal does not need to be species-specific. It reads as food to every freshwater species that hunts by chemical detection, which is essentially every species worth targeting in freshwater. The tackle industry argument that you need a different product for each target species is a sales argument, not a biological one. Walter has been using the same gelatin packet across every species for over 70 years on those same Alabama lakes. He has never once purchased a species-specific scent product. He has also never had a season where the method stopped working. The industry consolidation that happened in the 1980s was not about producing better fishing results for anglers. It was about building a customer base that bought new products every season, instead of using the same grocery store item year after year. The sponsored professionals who replaced older knowledge in fishing media were not necessarily more effective anglers than the generation they replaced. They were more visible, and they were paid to endorse specific products. Walter was not paid to endorse anything by anyone. He was not in any publication or on any television program. He fished because he enjoyed fishing, he used what worked, and he had no compelling reason to change any part of it just because the industry had moved in a different direction. An 87-year-old man with a $3 grocery item outfished $500 worth of my current gear, on the same lake, under the same conditions, in the same morning. That is the only product review that actually matters to any of us. That is the review nobody in the tackle industry wants you to read. The Forbidden Baits add-on inside the Angler's Vault has 10 legal homemade recipes, including the catfish killer dough, the ivory soap trick, the bacon grease dip, and more. Scan the QR code in the top left corner of your screen, or click the first link waiting in the description below. The complete system is waiting for you inside the Angler's Vault.